everybody. Welcome back to Frito's YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about, is the Quaker Parrot the correct choice of bird for my child? So to begin with, we're going to go over this, and there's going to be a lot of factors when it comes to choosing a bird for your child. And if you do decide to choose a Quaker Parrot, we're going to go over some tips with that. So as in any case with any pet or any purchase for that matter, it depends on the child for the most part. So, and today we're going to just be talking about generalities. So if this is going to be a first bird for your child and your child is under 10 years old, I would recommend a different breed of parrot, such as a parakeet or a cockatiel even would be a good choice for a child under 10 that is their first bird. Now, I'm going to tell you, I got Frito when he was 4 months old. Frito was purchased by somebody who had never owned a bird before, and they wanted to get a pet for their child who was 4 years old. So they wanted something that was low maintenance because they thought birds were low maintenance. And so they bought Frito for their 4-year-old child as the child's first pet. Well, it didn't take much time. The child was scared to death of Frito. So I would highly not recommend this bird for a child. Now, if you are in a family household and you are looking to purchase a bird and it's going to be a family pet and you do have small children with supervision, the Quaker can be a very good pet for your family. So this video is geared more towards this being your child's personal pet. So no, I would not recommend the Quaker Parrot under those circumstances. Now, if you do have an older child who has maybe some bird experience or is not afraid of animals in general, a Quaker Parrot may be good for you. Now, let me go over some of the traits that make them good and bad pets for children. So the first thing that is a deal breaker is that they love to chew on you and their bite can be very painful. So Quaker Parrots are very social, and they're also constantly, as you can see, he's looking around, he's trying to see what he can get into right now. They're always wanting to check things out. And when they check things out, they like to chew on things. So anything that they pick up, whether it's a toy, your clothes, your skin, they are going to try and grab it with their beak. And they're not biting you per se, but they are grasping at the item. And even grasping and grabbing with their beak to pick something up can be quite painful. So, and if you're somebody like me who's got fair skin, I have a lot of freckles, and Frito thinks that that is something that he needs to pick up and pick at. He can't understand why he can't pick those off my arm. So I do have many scabs on my arm, as you can see, from Frito picking at my scabs or at my freckles, and then they turn into scabs, which makes them even more interesting to Frito. So if you have a small child, they are going to most likely freak out over that. So for that reason, I would say no for a small child for this bird. Also, Frito was very friendly. He was a hand-fed baby, but I'm sure that some, I've gotten lucky, but I'm sure there's a lot of Quakers out there that can be quite aggressive. So if you end up with one of those, then you're really looking for double trouble with a small child. So that's probably the biggest negative for having a Quaker for a small child. Now, if you do have an older child, like I said, and they have previous bird experience, they're not afraid of getting bit, the Quaker Parrot could probably be a very good choice for you. They're very social, very interactive birds. They're very curious. They love to talk. They love to play. They love to interact with their people. So that can make them a really fun parrot to have for an older child, as long as they're being supervised. So that's something to look at also. If your child has never had a bird or a pet before, just consider that birds fly. And when we keep them as pets, we're taking away that instinct. That is their whole life, is flight. And so if you're going to get a bird and it's going to sit in that cage all day, every day with no interaction, go buy something else. Go buy a hamster. Don't buy a bird. I mean, when you think about people, if you ask people if there was any ability that they could have that they don't have, everybody would say they wish they had the ability to fly. And then here we take a species that God made with flight and we take it away from them just for our entertainment. So just make sure if you do get a bird and it's going to be for your child, that it's just not a whim that you want to get your child a pet. Make sure that this is something that your child wants, that your child is going to interact with for many years to come. And so the bird has a chance at a good life because, like I said, you are taking away their flight from them. So they need something to entertain them. They need interaction. So please take that into consideration when you purchase a bird. Also, I recommend, especially if you have children, I know I live in Phoenix, and there are bird rescues here where you can actually go volunteer and you can hang out with the birds. You can learn about birds and how to take care of them. And that's a really good way for a child to learn before you purchase that bird. As a matter of fact, it's a requirement from that rescue before you can adopt one of their birds, is you do have to go down there and volunteer, educate yourself. And when they know that this isn't just a whim for you, then they will adopt a bird to you. So that's something, if you have a child, don't just go, oh, my child wants a bird, let's just go buy one at PetSmart or wherever. Really research it and try to get your child around birds and handling birds to make sure that is something that they're going to have and not lose interest in. Just for not only the child's sake, but the bird especially. Excuse me. So back to where they make a good pet for an older child. Because they are really good talkers, Quakers, Frito has a vocabulary of probably over 150 words and phrases, and he's only a year old. I haven't done any formal training with him as far as training him to talk. This is just talking to him every day like he's just another person or member of our household. So we talk to him all the time. And we're not just sitting here mimicking phrases to Frito. He picks up half of the things that he says are things that he just picks up us saying in our day-to-day life. And so they are very good talkers, and that makes them very interesting for children also, and a lot of fun to own. So if you are going to get a bird, Quaker Parrot, for your child, I do suggest that you do get a hand-fed baby, because they tend to be tamer and less aggressive and easier for a child to handle. But like I said, please do your research. Please educate your child. Please get your child out there to be around birds before you choose this species of bird as your child's pet. Also, just remember too, is no child should be left to be the sole caregiver for any pet. I don't care what kind of animal it is. I don't care if it's a hamster. When you are buying your child a pet, you need to make sure that the animal is fed every day, that its cage is cleaned on a regular basis, and that the animal is getting attention. And if the animal's not getting any attention at all and the child has lost interest in it, please take it upon yourself to try and find that pet a good home where they are going to get the attention that they need. Because no pet how would you like to be locked in a cage your whole entire life with nobody to interact with or talk to or have anything, any interaction at all? What a sad existence. And this is what many of our pets go through, because people buy animals, whether it's a bird or a dog or a cat or a hamster, on a whim, and just because their child sees this fuzzy little creature or this bird, and, oh, I want it. Okay, birds or animals in general are not toys. They are a serious commitment unless you're really ready to commit to that. Like Frito, Quaker Parrot will live up to 20 years. So is that something that you're willing to commit for the next 20 years of your life, that you're going to take care of this animal? Okay, because they do need to be fed and watered, clean water daily. Frito has to have his water changed about 3 or 4 times a day because he takes everything and puts it in his water. So that's something to take into consideration. Birds are also very messy. They are not clean animals. So if your child or you are not willing to clean up after the bird at least every day or two and clean their cage and put new paper in there, maybe this isn't the pet for you. But overall, if you are experienced with birds or have been educated and went out and took the time to learn about birds before you purchase one, you're not afraid of a little bit of chewing on your skin, and and you want a really good, fun little partner that talks really well, then a Quaker Parrot may be for you. And also, on a last side note, like I wanted to mention, the last video I mentioned this, is that Quaker Parrots are not legal in all states. So please, before you purchase one, do your research and make sure that they are legal in the state where you live. Have a good day.